Every coincidence you met was a code phrase from the field. Do you know how to answer back? Listen closely, because the moment you felt patterns stacking with impossible timing, the story you thought was random began revealing its grammar. Not a voice of superstition. No, an orderly tapestry of cause and meaning. Moving with precision, the calls that arrived the instant you remembered a name. The door that opened right after you released your fear. The page that fell to the sentence you needed. These were not accidents. They were acknowledgments. They were reality's lawful patterns tapping your shoulder and saying, "Your signal is stabilizing. Keep your heart clean. Keep your intent clear." You were never being judged by noise, you were being recognized by integrity. When you chose truth over resentment, patience over performance, dignity over display, the pattern registered. Not with fireworks, with stillness, not with spectacle, with alignment. The world did not suddenly become easy, it became readable. You began to notice how delays were refinements, how closed doors were redirections, how silence was space being set for something exact. And in that noticing, a threshold appeared. Subtle, near, weightless, but unmistakable. Understand this with calm. The field is not an idol, not a phantom claim. It is the lawful weave of creation responding to the quality of your presence. When your words and your heart match, when your intention does not fracture. Synchronicity gathers like well-trained birds turning in the sky, swift, precise, and beautiful. That is why the coincidence is multiplied. Not to flatter you, but to confirm you. Not to crown you, but to calibrate you. The message beneath the moments was simple, almost hidden. Remain sincere under pressure. Remain kind when unseen. Remain clear when tempted by noise. Do this, and the pattern speaks louder. Without a single shout. You felt it, didn't you? The soft turn in the air, the way events began to arrive with clean precision. As if creation itself cleared a lane just wide enough for your next step, not a spectacle. No, something quieter, more exact, a message without letters, a reply without sound. A friend thought of you, and your phone lit up before you reached for it. A path you had abandoned reappeared, this time without the noise. Pages opened to sentences that felt written for you alone. These were not tricks, they were lawful alignments. Proof that sincerity conducts order the way a riverbed conducts water. When your intent stopped shaking, the world stopped echoing static. It started echoing you. Here is the secret few admit out loud. Patterns do not chase applause. They follow consistency. The moment your heart and your words agreed, when you chose patience over performance and truth over display. The mirror of life stopped arguing and started reflecting. Doors did not surrender to force. They recognized steadiness and swung on their hinges. Timing did not bend to demand, it bowed to clarity. And clarity, when kept gentle, becomes signal. A signal strong enough to organize stray events into meaningful sequence. No shouting, no panic, just alignment. So when the next calm coincidence arrives softly, like rain choosing the cleanest channel. Remember what it means. It is not a crown, it is confirmation. It says, stay sincere when unseen, stay precise when tempted by hurry. Stay grateful when results are small but right, because this is how the whisper answers. Never as a command, always as a correspondence. The more your presence refuses to fracture, the more creation arranges itself around what is honest in you. And in that arrangement, quiet, elegant, undeniable, you will know the code phrase was heard, and the reply has begun. You've noticed it, haven't you? How awareness seems to arrive in your chest before it ever becomes a thought in your head. A quiet certainty, a settling, a gentle current that says, this way, without raising its voice. This is not noise or fantasy. It is the lawful design of a human being who has stopped arguing with truth. When your intention softens into sincerity, your body stops bracing for impact and begins receiving what order is already offering. The heart steadies, the breath evens, the mind clears, and reception improves. There is a wisdom woven into the body. Subtle, merciful, disciplined. Your nerves are not only cables of survival, they are instruments of perception when you hold a clean intent. No show, no panic. Tiny signals that were once drowned by haste begin to register. The yes that feels weightless. The no that feels heavy. The path that carries peace, even when it asks for patience. This is not superstition, this is coherence. When the inner weather is calm, the horizon stops shimmering. You can finally see what was always there. And then the confirmations arrive, quiet, precise, almost shy. A message at the perfect moment, a meeting that unfolds without strain, an answer that forms fully shaped the instant you stop forcing one. Understand this gently. You did not seize more control. You surrendered distortion. You did not summon reality. You became readable to it. The body, relieved of contradiction, behaves like a well-tuned receiver. It translates alignment into understanding without a single shouted word. So when the next soft certainty rises, arriving like dawn rather than thunder, honor it. Guard the state that allowed it. Sincerity when unseen. Patience when hurried. Gratitude when progress is small but right. This is how reception strengthens. Without spectacle, without excess. Through a presence that refuses to fracture. And as your presence stays whole, the world answers in kind. Not with noise, but with unmistakable clarity. Here is the quiet reason so many pass by the doorway without seeing it. They mistake volume for truth and hurry for destiny. When the world turns loud, they turn louder. When timing asks for patience, they demand proof. The signal gentle, exact, merciful, does not wrestle. It withdraws from noise. And noise has many costumes. Pride that needs to be seen, ambition that forgets compassion, clever words without honest intent. None of this is evil, just unstable. Unstable signals can't carry meaning long. They scatter before they arrive. You did not miss the signal because you learned a secret phrase. You heard it because your heart refused to counterfeit what it could not sustain. You chose dignity over display, gratitude over grievance, steadiness over spectacle, and the field, Lawful, ordered, just responded to that steadiness, the way a compass finds north. Understand this with calm clarity. What many call closed doors are often guardrails, protecting them from momentum. Their character cannot yet guide. What looks like delay is often protection. What feels like silence is often precision assembling. The pattern does not punish, it reflects. When our intentions fracture, outcomes tangle. When our intentions accord, life unties its own knots. This is why forcing brings fatigue while sincerity brings quiet strength. This is why comparisons drain the soul while gratitude refills it. A steady presence cannot be bribed by applause, nor broken by a brief setback. It holds its shape under pressure. And by holding, it becomes legible. And legibility is everything. Once you are readable, creation answers without argument. So if you have known seasons where effort grew louder and results grew smaller, read the message beneath the surface. Return to clarity, return to kindness, return to what is true even when no one is keeping score. The moment the heart aligns with what is right, without theatrics, without bargaining, the path clears with a softness that feels like relief. That relief is not luck, it is order. It is the world saying back to you, in its own precise language, I can carry your weight now, because you are carrying it with care. There comes a moment, quiet, unmistakable, when life stops resisting you and starts arranging itself with gracious precision, not to glorify you, but to acknowledge a steadiness you've chosen again and again. In that moment, 5 confirmations begin to appear, not as spectacle, not as noise, but as clean alignments that repeat with humble reliability. You don't chase them. They arrive on their own time, carrying the calm weight of what is lawful and right. First, outcomes stop requiring pressure. What once demanded force now answers to sincerity. Doors open without argument. Conversations land in clarity. Opportunities meet you at the exact capacity you can hold. Second, understanding arrives in whole pieces. Insight that does not shout, guidance that does not bargain. Knowledge that feels given the instant your heart refuses to counterfeit what it cannot sustain. Third, choices lose their panic. You sense which path carries peace, even if it asks for patience, and the old urge to scramble fades. Peace does not mean easy, it means true, and true proves itself over time. Fourth, people align. The ones who nourish your growth seem to find you without chase, and the ones who thrive in noise gently drift to where noise is welcome. You stop auditioning for rooms that don't fit. You honor the rooms that refine you. And fifth, the rarest. Your energies lean towards service without being told. Influence stops orbiting self and begins uplifting what surrounds you. Not performance responsibility. Not display. This is how power remains safe. It moves with care, and its proof is the well-being it leaves behind. If these confirmations are knocking at your life, softly, steadily, receive them with humility. They are not medals, they are messages. Reminders that alignment is safer than ambition, that sincerity is stronger than noise, and that every good thing entrusted to you is also asking to be carried with care. Hold that trust cleanly, without pride, without rush, and the pattern will keep answering. Not louder, just closer, until closeness itself becomes the sign. Power, real power, doesn't arrive to decorate a name, it arrives to serve what is right. When your presence grows steady, creation entrusts you with influence not as a prize, but as a trust. And a trust carries weight. It asks you to move carefully, to speak only what you can stand behind, to build in ways that leave people safer than you found them. If the heart stays clean, power flows like clear water, quiet, generous, precise. If the heart forgets care, power dries into noise. Remember this gently. What is entrusted can be withdrawn, not as punishment, but as protection. The pattern preserves what is good by multiplying only what is safe. Not control, clarity, not domination, responsibility. You are not here to bend reality around your impatience. You are here to align with what is lawful and just, so outcomes carry peace instead of residue. The proof of alignment is simple and profound. Those near you feel steadier, rooms grow calmer when you enter, choices become cleaner when you speak. Confusion loosens its knots around your patience. This is how true authority walks, without spectacle, without boasting. Its sign is the relief it brings. Hold this like a vow. Let your influence move as mercy moves, firm when needed, gentle when possible, honest always. Refuse displays that fracture your intent. Refuse shortcuts that cost your integrity. Keep your promise with the unseen, and the seen will keep faith with you. Then power fulfills its purpose, not to lift one person above many, but to lift many beyond what they thought was possible. And as it flows through you, quiet, exact, unwavering, you will know. This is not about being more than others. It is about becoming less divided within yourself. So what is good can pass through untangled. There comes a quiet hour when you realize the field does not stand outside you. No, it moves through you. A calm current shaping words, steadying steps, arranging moments with a care that feels like guidance. This is not spectacle, it is integration. The inner and the outer stop arguing and begin agreeing. Your voice carries the weight of truth without raising its volume. Your presence restores order without demanding attention. People won't know why they feel safer around you, only that they do. That is the sign of alignment, not noise, not display, relief. You do not chase omens now. Your life has become one. Doors open because your intent is clean. Timing fits because your patience is real. What departs does so without bitterness, and what arrives carries peace instead of drama. You stand between possibilities like a hinge, one world to the other, closing what harms, opening what heals. Influence no longer circles your name. It circles what is right. And because you refuse to fracture under pressure, reality entrusts you with threads you cannot see. Introductions that come at perfect moments. Decisions that land like clear daylight. Outcomes that hold their shape long after applause has faded. Hold this station with humility. A bridge does not brag, it bears. Let your speech be careful. Your promise is exact. Your patience longer than your pride. If a moment calls for strength, let it be strength without cruelty. If it calls for softness, let it be softness without weakness. This is how a life becomes a corridor of mercy, firm, gentle, unbroken. And as you walk it, without hurry, without fear, you will feel the quiet certainty that began it all. Every coincidence was a code phrase, and yes, you answered back. When the ground shifts, most hearts reach for volume. More words, more movement, more noise. But volume is not strength. It is often the shake of an untuned string. Real strength is tuning. It is the quiet refusal to trade clarity for hurry. It is the discipline to keep your inner weather calm while the outer sky performs its theater. You have learned this, not by memorizing lines, but by staying sincere when no one was counting. And sincerity has a sound, soft, unwavering, unmistakable. The field reads that sound the way dawn reads the horizon. With certainty, pressure arrives to show us what dissolves. And what remains, anger dissolves, envy dissolves, pretending dissolves. What remains is the shape of your intent. This is why some doors open only after delay. It is not rejection, it is refinement. The pause separates shine from substance, performance from patience. And when the door finally turns, it does so on hinges that won't betray you, because your presence will not betray them. A steady signal does not beg for entry, it becomes welcome. Notice how the clean path rarely shouts. It appears as a simple yes that doesn't need applause, as a conversation that lands without strain, as an absence of confusion where confusion used to live. This is the quiet signature of alignment. Less friction, more fidelity, less spectacle, more truth. You don't drag results into being. You meet them at the hour they were written to arrive. What leaves you now leaves gently. What comes to you arrives whole. Even endings stop feeling like collapse. They feel like arrangements that have completed their promise. Hold to this. Strength without cruelty, humility without shrinking, confidence without theater. Let your words be few and exact. Let your presence be long and kind. If the moment tightens, breathe with dignity. If the moment loosens, walk with care. Refuse to fracture for any outcome, and outcomes will refuse to fracture you. In time, those around you will sense it. Rooms quiet. As you enter, choices clear as you speak. Burdens lighter after you leave. They will not know the formula, and they do not need to. The proof is already living in the relief you carry. A steady signal that does not bend to pressure. It steadies pressure until it bends to what is right. There is a shape to timing, subtle, exact, like constellations appearing only when the night is honest enough to be still. You have felt this geometry, the gentle click of events that once refused to align, now meeting as if they were always meant to. Not because you pressed harder, but because you stopped fracturing your intention. When the heart and the word agree, time arranges itself with mercy. A path that was all gravel becomes a clean lane. A conversation that once tangled now lands with simple clarity. This is not spectacle. It is order. The pattern is not flattering you. It is acknowledging that your presence keeps its promise, even when no one is counting. Notice how rightful timing never arrives panting. It walks in with composure. A door swings not from panic, but from proportion. The meeting you missed 3 times appears again. This time free of pressure. The message you needed finds you without search. You do not chase. You recognize. Recognition is the quiet art of souls that have learned patience. This is mine. This is not. You know it without argument. The yes feels light. The no feels heavy, and both feel peaceful. Peace is not passivity. It is the sign that truth is holding the weight with you. Understand gently, delay is not the enemy of destiny. Distortion is. A rushed victory that fractures your integrity is only a slower failure in costume. But a precise arrival that protects your dignity is a foundation no storm can humiliate. That is why some seasons asked you to wait, not to punish you, but to spare you from building a roof before laying a beam. What took longer is now stronger. What felt withheld was actually being shaped to be carried, not just reached. So move as timing moves, without panic, without display. Let your speech be careful and your steps exact. If an hour opens, enter with gratitude. If it closes, depart without bitterness. Both are mercies from the same wisdom. You will find that the more you honor proportion, the more proportion honors you. Introductions arriving when your character can keep them. Resources meeting you at the measure you can steward. Pathways widening only as fast as your sincerity can fill them. And in that measure, quiet, lawful, undeniable, you will know. The geometry of timing is answering you, because you have become the kind of presence that answers it back. There is a moment when you stop chasing rooms, and rooms begin to read you. A quiet shift where introductions feel arranged rather than engineered. This is not accident. No, it is resonance. When your intent holds its shape, people whose lives honor that shape appear with a gentleness that feels like mercy. Conversations land without wrestling, plans unfold without theater. You are not being favored. You are being matched. Alignment recognizes alignment, the way clear water finds the sea. Notice the pattern. Those drawn by noise drift as noise. Those drawn by truth remain when applause is gone. You will not need to audition for belonging. Belonging will reveal itself by the peace it carries. This peace is not laziness. It is the energy saved when you stop performing for places that never asked for your integrity, only for your shine. And shine without substance is a lantern with no oil. It burns quick and leaves smoke. Substance is quieter. It keeps the flame without asking for a stage. Understand gently, resonance is not about agreement on every detail. It is about shared fidelity to what is right. With such people, silence is not emptiness. It is understanding. Disagreements do not become fractures. They become refinements. Promises do not inflate. They become precise in their company. You do not shrink to be accepted, nor rise on tiptoe to be seen. You stand as you are, and how you stand is received. Let your criteria be simple and unwavering. Choose what strengthens sincerity. Choose what steadies patience. Choose what keeps speech careful and hearts clean. If a bond drains the light from your days, bless it and release it. If a bond enlarges your capacity for good, honor it and protect it. Protection is not suspicion. It is care. Care for the trusts you carry, names, moments, confidences, and your life will move like a well-kept garden, pruned where needed, generous where possible, fruitful in its season. When the right companions gather, decisions clarify, burdens divide, and the road that once felt narrow begins to widen. Not by spectacle, but by stewardship. You will know them by the relief they bring. By how your prayer becomes steadier around them. By how your patience grows instead of breaks. This is the quiet signature of resonant relationships. Less argument, more honesty, less display, more devotion. And as you guard this circle with humility, the field will keep weaving strands you cannot see. Threads of help at the exact hour, words at the precise weight. Until even your gratitude learns a new depth. And your days carry a harmony that needs no announcement. Only a sincere alhamdulillah whispered in the heart. You've felt it before, that sudden clarity arriving whole. No scrambling, no debate, just a sentence in the heart that settles everything it touches. It does not thunder, it lands. This isn't spectacle. No, it's proportion. When the inner state holds its shape. Understanding doesn't need to fight for entry. It is admitted. You did not force revelation. You removed the noise that used to drown it. The mind stops sprinting. The breath evens. The heart stands honest. And then guidance appears with a calm so clean it feels like mercy. Notice the character of this knowledge. It is gentle, but it does not wobble. It does not flatter the ego, nor bargain with fear. It respects the lawful order of creation. Truth serving what is right, not what is loud. You recognize it by the peace it carries, by the way it refuses drama, by how it arrives without bruising anything on its way in. It is not a trick of mood. It is a trust. And every trust asks for stewardship. Speak carefully, move with care. Do not sell clarity for applause. The moment understanding becomes performance. Its light grows thin. There is a difference between collecting ideas and receiving guidance. Ideas can decorate a tongue. Guidance refines a life. Ideas chase novelty. Guidance keeps fidelity. One inflates, the other aligns. When the heart is sincere, when it would rather be right than be seen, truth approaches like a well-bred guest, modest, timely, exact. It asks nothing theatrical, only that your actions carry the same integrity as your words. If you must choose, let your deeds announce what your mouth stays humble about. Quiet obedience outlives clever talk. So when the next clear knowing appears, arriving soft, complete, unquestioning, guard it like a lantern in wind. Let patience be its glass, and gratitude be its oil. Refuse the shortcuts that fracture dignity. Refuse the urgency that confuses haste with courage. If a door opens, step through with humility. If it closes, trust that protection is also provision. What is written for you will not demand you to break yourself to keep it. What is right for you will not ask you to lose your sincerity to hold it. And as you honor knowledge with action, careful, measured, kind, you will witness a quiet multiplication, more peace in decisions, more light in speech, more steadiness in steps. Not because you became louder, but because you became truer. And truth, by the permission of the most merciful, carries its own protection, its own timing, its own way of turning coincidence into confirmation without ever needing to raise its voice. Some choices arrive like crossroads, others arrive like a quiet inclination. No trumpet, no spotlight, just a path that feels right-sized. This is not guesswork, it is discernment. When your heart stops bargaining with image and begins honoring what is true, the future stops behaving like a maze and begins behaving like a map. You do not force an answer, you recognize one. Recognition is that soft certainty that does not inflate the ego, does not bruise humility, and does not require a witness to feel real. It arrives with proportion, with mercy, with peace. Understand gently, options are not equal just because they are many. Some timelines glitter but drain. Others look ordinary but water your roots. The clean sign is not the volume of praise. It is the absence of inner fracture. If a yes requires you to twist your words, dim your honor, or hurry past what conscience warns, then it is only a louder no in costume. But if a yes asks for patience, accuracy, and care, while keeping your speech honest and your presence kind, then it is strength wrapped in quiet clothing. True openings protect dignity as they open. False openings spend dignity to stay open. Notice how decisions clarify around sincerity. When motivation is mixed, when image demands a stage, everything tangles. But when intention is clean, meanings sort themselves. The heavy choice reveals its cost. The light choice reveals its promise. Lightness is not laziness. No. It is the relief of carrying what belongs to you. Even if the road asks more time, more learning, more steady work, the heart feels calm, present, unhurried. That calm is not passivity. It is trust. And trust is not blind. It is seeing far enough to move without trembling. So choose as truth. Chooses without theater, without panic. Let results arrive at their written hour and refuse any outcome that must be held by pretending. If a door shuts, accept the protection. If it opens, accept the responsibility. Thankfulness steadies both. You will find, again and again, that the right path does not need you to be someone else to walk it. It asks only that you remain sincere, careful, grateful, and in that gratitude, in that quiet, alhamdulillah, the heart knows how to say, The horizon stops flickering, the noise steps back, and probability itself leans toward what is honest in you. There is a weight to words that honest hearts can feel. Subtle, steady, undeniable. Speech is not decoration, it is conveyance. It carries either clarity or confusion, mercy or heat. When your inner state holds its shape, the tongue learns restraint. Sentences shorten, claims sober, promises narrow to what you can stand behind. This is not shyness, it is stewardship. A single careful phrase can ease a burden more than 1,000 bright slogans. A single unfair sentence can bruise what patience took years to heal. So let every word cross a small bridge of conscience before it leaves. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it mine to say? Notice how reality honors guarded speech. Rooms grow quieter, meanings grow clearer, even disagreements cool into refinement instead of burning into fracture. The person who seeks truth does not need a stage. Truth itself makes space. You are not here to talk confusion. You are here to integrate it. Let your voice be like clean water. No foam, no spectacle. Refreshing because it is plain. Plain does not mean dull, it means faithful. Faithful speech refuses rumor, refuses cruelty dressed as humor, refuses to trade someone's dignity for a moment's applause. What you withhold out of mercy never reduces you, it refines you. Understand gently. Tone is also meaning. A true sentence thrown like a stone is not the same as a true sentence placed like a lantern. One startles, the other guides. Choose the lantern. Choose proportion. Choose timings that don't humiliate. And when silence is the highest form of care, let silence speak. Not all truth belongs in every hour. Not every hour can carry every truth. The wise heart asks not only, is it right? But also, is it right now? Patience is not delay. It is precision with compassion. Carry this vow softly but firmly. I will not let my tongue run faster than my sincerity. If a word would win attention but spend honor, I release it. If a reply would prove me clever but leave another smaller, I refuse it. If a promise would impress but cannot be kept, I keep it unspoken. And when goodness appears, I name it with gratitude. Quiet, clean, thankful, by the permission of the most merciful. In time you will see what the field has always known. Careful speech is architecture. It builds rooms where hearts can rest. It strengthens the bridges you were born to be. And as your words choose mercy over show, the world will answer in kind. Not louder, just truer. Until even your silence carries meaning, and your presence says what performance never could. So here we are, the hinge between what seemed random and what now reads like script. Every coincidence you met was a code phrase from the field. Quiet, precise, merciful. Asking only one thing: will you remain sincere when it would be easier to perform? You did, and sincerity changes the geometry of life. Doors no longer argue, they align. Timing no longer taunts, it arrives. Speech no longer decorates, it carries care. You did not conquer the world, you stopped fracturing within it. And in that steadiness, creation learned your name by its truest meaning. Hold this close. Real power is not a crown. It is a trust. It moves without spectacle. It lifts without noise. It leaves people safer than it found them. If you are handed influence, carry it like water, clear, modest, necessary. Let your presence be the relief that proves alignment. Let your word be the lantern that proves restraint. And when gratitude rises, and it will, let it rise cleanly. Alhamdulillah for every protection disguised as delay, every redirection disguised as loss. Every soft arrival that proved timing belongs to the most merciful. You do not need louder omens now. You have become one. The room steadies when you enter. Tensions unclench when you speak. Choices clarify after you leave. That is not accident. That is stewardship. Guard it. Refuse hurry that spends honor. Refuse shine that empties substance. Refuse any path that needs you to pretend. What is written for you will meet you at the measure you can carry with dignity. And now, a simple, strong call, if this message steadied your heart. Stay with this work. Save this video for the hour you doubt. Share it with the one person who needs relief more than applause. Subscribe if you choose clarity over noise, so these words find you at the exact moment they're needed. Add your voice below with one sentence about the line that gave you peace. Your sincerity may be the thread that lifts someone unseen. Walk gently, speak carefully. Keep your inner weather calm. By the permission of the most merciful, what belongs to you will arrive whole, without theater, without fracture, until coincidence becomes confirmation, and confirmation becomes your quiet way of life.